Hi everybody, this is Denise with purplepaperparadise.com and also the eCraft design team. And today I'm really excited because I'm sharing with you my first video tutorial for the eCraft design team. And I decided that we need to do something extra fun, so we're going to talk about rhinestones. Now, if you've been to the eCraft Central website, you may have noticed that you can purchase some rhinestone patterns for use with your eCraft machine. And if you have not done rhinestones before, you really should give it a try. It's a lot of fun. It is a little addicting, I'm going to warn you, but this is one of those things that you start thinking about all the different things that you can bling out with rhinestones. So I've got here a couple of Halloween images. I've got this spider up here, and I've got this ghost here. I got both of these from the eCraft Central website. Now, one of the biggest things when working with the rhinestone pattern is you do not want to resize this image at all. And the reason for that is if you notice here, we've got several different sizes of circles, actually 3 different sizes right here. There's the small, medium, and the large. And these circles coincide with the size rhinestone that you're going to use. So if you resize this image, these circles are going to get off and your rhinestones are not going to look right. If you resize this to make it bigger, it's not going to throw in extra circles in here to fill in the gaps. So you really do need to make sure to keep the same size. Now, another little trick that I like to do is I take a snapshot from my screen of these images, and I keep them handy so that when I actually go to cut out this design and use it, I have a good reference. This tells us exactly how many of each size stone. This 10SS is small size, 16SS is the medium, and then the 20SS is a large size. And it also gives me the dimensions of the finished product, so that way I can make sure that whatever I'm using this for will fit on my finished product. And then here, let's take a look at the spider. There's the spider. And again, you'll see those 3 stone size listed there as well, and it'll give us the dimensions. So I usually keep this on hand. Sometimes I'll even print these out and have them on my work table next to me as I'm filling in the rhinestones. And I'll show you that a little bit later here. But first, I want to go ahead and get this rhinestones patterns cut out with some rhinestone material and show you how that's done on the eCraft. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So now we're going to cut our rhinestone template material. And if you see here, I've got a piece of it. And this material is kind of like vinyl in that it's got this backing paper, but this is it's like a green, almost like rubber like material. And so we want to cut through that rubber, but not through our backing paper. And you can see here I was using this piece to kind of test my pressure settings and everything. So what happens is once you remove this rubber, you've got like quite a bit of a ridge there, and it's enough for your rhinestone to kind of sit in place. So let's go ahead and start cutting. I've got my eCraft machine here. The first thing that I'm going to check is that my pressure settings are set at 0, which they are. And then we're going to go ahead and hit cut on our eCraftshop Pro software. Let's see here. There we go. And I'm doing this from the front. Only one of multi-cut. I've got the pressure set at 7, and the blade cap is on. I am using a vegetable cutting mat, and you can see now that it's going to go around and it's going to cut out a bunch of these circles, just like what you saw on the screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and let this finish cutting, and we'll come back and I'll show you what the next step is. Okay, so we've got our rhinestone template material all cut out, and you'll see here that I went ahead and I started removing some of the circles here on the ghost. Now, theoretically, when you transfer your rhinestone template material to a piece of backer board, all these circles should just stay on the backing paper. In the past, when working with this, I have found that these circles, sometimes they come up and they go onto the backing board, and once they stick onto the backing board, it's really hard to get them up. So I have found that really it only takes a few minutes to just remove them from here before putting it on my backing board. And so that's what I choose to do, just because I had so much trouble trying to get them off of the backing board in the past. So all I do here is I just use a weeder tool, and I just go through here and I pick up that piece of rubber, and you can see actually I can pick up a few circles at a time, so it really doesn't take very long to do this step. And I just find that it saves some aggravation later if you have an issue where it doesn't want to, it comes up with the template material instead of staying on the backing paper. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up doing this, and then we're going to go ahead and put this on the backing board. Okay, so now I've removed all of my little circles, so we're ready to go ahead and transfer this over to a backer board. And this is like a very firm piece of, like, not it's kind of like chipboard, I guess. So if you have some chipboard lying around, you could probably use that as a backer board. But they do typically, when they wherever they sell this rhinestone template material, they'll have backer board, and it's pretty inexpensive to get. And I do find it helpful because I actually keep my designs then. So now that I've got this cut out, I will keep this backer board, so the next time I want to use this design, it's already cut out and ready for me. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut off this excess here. I'm just going to use my scissors here for this. And now, let's see. Yeah, that'll probably work out just fine. Well, maybe I'll go like this just to be safe. Now, the way that I do this is very carefully, because you don't want any kind of bubbles or anything in it. So if you have one of these like scraper things, this is a good thing to have handy when you're doing this part. But I'm going to go ahead and start it in a corner, and then I'm just going to gradually kind of peel off the backing paper and smoothing it down as I go along. And this is definitely a little bit off, but that's okay. We'll make it work. And like I mentioned before, when this template material sticks onto this backer board, it's like stuck there good. So that's why you want to be very careful moving it over to make sure that you got it in place. And one of the things I've always kind of wondered myself is it even necessary to do this step? And I think it probably is, because it just keeps your design really nice and firm. And when you're working with these rhinestones, you'll see that things can get a little tricky sometimes, and so it's good to have this so that you can lift your entire project up right off your table if you need to. So if some rhinestones go haywire or whatever the case may be. So now you can see I've got that all nice in place on my backer board, and we can go ahead and start putting some rhinestones in. Now I've got my printout of the ghost here, and I know that because I need 7 of the small size, that would be for his mouth here, 85 of the medium, which is going to be the outside here, and then 2 for the eyes. So I've got the medium size crystals here, and let me get my tool here real quick. Got this little tool. You can get this at the hardware store in the paint department, and this actually works out pretty good, because I'm going to kind of dump out some of these rhinestones here, and we're going to kind of brush them in so that they go in the holes. I'm going to keep them away from the spider, because I'm not doing the spider right now. I'm just focusing on the ghost. But you see here, what you kind of do is you just kind of move them back and forth here, and they'll start to just kind of naturally fall into these rhinestone holes. So this takes a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and just turn the video camera off until I've got all of these rhinestones in place, so you can see what the finished product looks like.